Good afternoon, I'm Siobhan Caulfield with Hunter News. An accident at Sandgate is causing delays for traffic. A car and truck have collided near the intersection of Maitland Road and Shamrock Streets. City-bound traffic is back to the Hexham Bridge. The NRMA has released new data from its recent survey conducted in the Hunter regarding road safety for the region. The survey found a higher percentage of voters across Newcastle, Charlestown and Maitland, when considering their daily commute, believe their commuting time has grown in recent years. President Kyle Loade says congestion on the roads causes fatal issues down the track.
Sadly, there's 39 people have died on Hunter and Central Coast roads in the last 12 months. So when you combine increased congestion with a serious road toll, it all adds up to a big issue that needs solving. This is why NRMA has published this research. This feedback is important.
Greens voters in Port Stephens, Maitland and the Upper Hunter will be inadvertently supporting Labor. Labor will be backed as third preferences for Greens voters as the parties unite against the coalition's privatisations of the state poles and wires. It's proved more difficult for parties to stitch up a deal in the seat of Newcastle, as voters are sceptical Labor won't adopt a policy in favour of mandatory covers for Hunter coal wagons. A transport plan for East Lake Macquarie could be in the pipeline to cater for increasing population and tourism in the area. Independent candidate for Swansea, Chris Osborne, wants to implement the 25-year integrated plan, which involves a light rail link south from Newcastle to Swansea. He says his main concern is garnering support for such a long-term vision.
It's quite a visionary plan, and I know that I'm proposing something 25 years out, but one of the big issues and problems with politics these days is that politicians and governments only look towards the next election. So at the state level, we're only looking to see what happens in 4 years' time. So we're not doing any medium to long-term planning. And what I'm suggesting here is let's look into the future, 25 years for the transport needs of East Lake Macquarie and also from Newcastle down to Gosford.
There are calls to bring the international Red Bull Air Race to Warners Bay. Previous Red Bull Air Races have attracted more than 70,000 people over 2 days to its host cities, and it's thought the event will be a huge boost to tourism in the region. Liberal candidate for Charlestown, Jason Pauling, says there will be many benefits from bringing the race to the area.
I'm aware of the need for a signature event to really draw tourists to this area, and with tourists come jobs and economic stability. And even at a state level, this helps push New South Wales into that very, very firm position of number one.
Areas in the Hunter faced with the damaging effects of mining activity could be granted community infrastructure funding. The expansion of Resources for Regions program will allow areas like Lake Macquarie, which has been overlooked, to access funding if the government are re-elected on March 28. Local government areas would make their case using data to demonstrate the effect mining has on the area. Now with sport, Georgia Moylan.
Knights forward Chris Houston and Beau Scott have dodged suspension over a lifting tackle on North Queensland player Jonathan Thurston. 3 of Newcastle's players were reported in the match that took place in Townsville on Saturday night, but Scott was the only one charged by the NRL Match Review Committee. He's taken the early guilty plea, a Grade 1 dangerous throw charge, allowing him to play against the Titans this Sunday. Coach Rick Stone says they're not concerned about the media hype following the incident.
Yeah, that's been a bit said in the press, but after the game, I thought we probably discussed it pretty well. We competed pretty hard, I thought. The judiciary's done their bit in adjudicating on what the referees thought, and, we're getting ready for Gold Coast.
The Jets' finances have been in the spotlight again after players and staff salaries were delayed for the second straight month. The tax office have been allowed to seize the Jets' monthly payment by the FFA for player wages as part of a garnishee order on the companies of Jets owner Nathan Tinkler to recover millions of dollars of debt. Jets CEO Mitchell Murphy has assured the wages have been processed overnight. Anne Singleton will return to Newcastle and Hunter Rugby Union for the first time since 2012 after East dropped to First Division last week. Their campaign will open against Nelson Bay on April 11. That's sport. I'm Georgia Moylan.
2NURFM News Time is 12:10.